Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates with many, understanding and outsmarting those who play games with your emotions. Whether you're in a budding romance or dealing with mixed signals, mastering the psychology behind these behaviors is essential for maintaining control over your own well-being. The Stoics spent a lifetime understanding human nature, and their insights remain highly relevant today, especially when navigating complex emotional dynamics. Stick around as we break down 7 powerful strategies to protect yourself and thrive, no matter the situation. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your story if you've experienced these behaviors firsthand. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Recognize the signs. The first and most crucial step in handling someone who plays games with your heart is learning to recognize the signs. Often, these indicators are subtle but consistent patterns of behavior that keep you second-guessing. When a woman alternates between being affectionate and pulling back, giving mixed signals that seem almost designed to confuse you, it's often a deliberate tactic to keep you uncertain and off balance. These behaviors can include avoiding clear answers, showing interest only sporadically, leaving messages on read without responding, or pulling away just as things start to get close. Such actions are red flags because they signal that she may be more invested in keeping you guessing than in fostering a meaningful connection. Recognizing these patterns is essential because it allows you to understand the underlying intentions behind her behavior. Women, like men, might engage in game playing for various reasons, such as insecurity, a fear of commitment, or even as a test of your reactions. From a psychological perspective, these tactics can be a way of gauging how invested you are. By sending mixed signals or being unpredictable, they keep you on edge, prompting you to question where you stand and often nudging you to invest more in the dynamic. The Stoics advocated for self-control and emotional independence, teaching that the key to inner peace is being aware of potentially manipulative behaviors without allowing them to dictate your state of mind. By recognizing these tactics early, you put yourself in a position of power, preventing yourself from being swept into an emotional rollercoaster. Understanding the signs isn't about becoming cynical, it's about cultivating awareness. You're not assuming the worst. Rather, you're taking a step back and observing the situation objectively. It's about acknowledging the behaviors that indicate inconsistency and evaluating whether this is a pattern you're willing to tolerate. Awareness gives you the freedom to see these actions for what they are, allowing you to make decisions based on a realistic understanding rather than wishful thinking. The more clearly you recognize these behaviors, the better prepared you are to navigate the relationship without letting it dominate your emotional stability. This awareness helps you maintain control over your emotions and prevents you from falling into a reactive mindset. When you see these actions for what they are, it's easier to protect your well-being and avoid getting caught in a cycle of highs and lows. Often, game-playing tactics are designed to provoke a strong response, creating an emotional push and pull that keeps you constantly invested. Recognizing the signs lets you respond with measured calm rather than confusion or frustration, helping you stay focused on your own needs and boundaries. Another sign of game playing is inconsistency in emotional availability. She may seem deeply interested one day, sharing personal stories or engaging in meaningful conversations, and then act disinterested or distant the next. This up-and-down behavior creates a sense of unpredictability that can make you question yourself or your worth in the relationship. The Stoics valued stability and rationality, reminding us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and responses, rather than being controlled by the moods or whims of others. By seeing this behavior clearly, you gain insight into the nature of the dynamic without letting it disrupt your own emotional stability. If you find yourself constantly analyzing her every move, trying to make sense of her reactions, or seeking clarity about where you stand, it may be a sign that she's intentionally creating confusion. Genuine relationships are typically marked by consistency, honesty, and a clear desire for connection. On the other hand, game playing often involves keeping you uncertain, deliberately fostering ambiguity that leaves you emotionally invested but unsure. Recognizing this difference allows you to step back, making choices that serve your emotional well-being instead of getting trapped in a cycle of insecurity. It's crucial to remember that understanding these signs is a form of self-respect. When you acknowledge the possibility of game-playing behavior, you give yourself the freedom to choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. The Stoics taught that emotional resilience comes from seeing things as they are and not as we wish them to be. This realistic perspective allows you to evaluate whether this dynamic aligns with what you want in a relationship. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's inconsistent behavior, but are instead empowered to prioritize your needs and values. In spotting these patterns early on, you're better equipped to avoid getting too emotionally entangled. You can decide if this dynamic is one you want to engage with or if it's a situation that ultimately doesn't serve your well-being. By staying grounded and detached, you can maintain your inner peace and emotional autonomy, giving yourself the clarity to make choices that lead to fulfilling and honest relationships. Recognizing the signs of game playing allows you to protect your emotional health, viewing the situation with a sense of calm and purpose rather than getting drawn into the confusion. Chapter 2. Don't take the bait. Once you identify manipulative behaviors, the next critical step is resisting the urge to react impulsively. Game players often seek control by triggering emotional responses. They test your limits, provoke reactions, and thrive on knowing they can influence your emotions. Their aim is to create a cycle where your reactions give them power, reinforcing their behavior and maintaining their sense of dominance in the dynamic. By responding emotionally, you hand them the control they're looking for, enabling them to continue their manipulative tactics. Instead, a more empowered approach is to remain composed, develop emotional detachment, and keep your focus on your own happiness and personal goals. Choosing not to take the bait involves recognizing that your emotional responses belong to you, not to them. Detachment here doesn't imply coldness or indifference. Rather, it's a commitment to protecting your inner peace by setting boundaries around your emotions. By maintaining a calm and measured response, you send a clear message that their games won't shake you. This approach gradually strips them of their leverage as they come to realize that you aren't easily manipulated by inconsistency or emotional provocation. Each time you remain steady, you're affirming a boundary that says, "My emotional state is not yours to control." Stoic philosophy offers profound insights on how to master emotional resilience in such situations. The Stoics taught that true strength lies in the control of one's mind and reactions, a principle highly applicable to dealing with emotional games. Instead of allowing their behavior to dictate your inner calm, the Stoic approach encourages you to maintain a steady mind, regardless of external actions. By refusing to give in to manipulation, you build an emotional shield that protects your peace. Not only does this response reclaim your power, but it also reinforces your self-worth, showing that you value your own equilibrium more than reacting to provocation. When you choose not to engage, it speaks volumes about your emotional maturity and composure. This self-restraint signals that you are not interested in a chaotic back-and-forth dynamic, where respect and consistency are absent. By staying composed, you're demonstrating a standard of respect, stability, and calmness, showing that you expect the same in return. This calm reaction often makes game players re-evaluate their approach, as they realize that they are unable to control or unsettle you as they intended. It's a powerful stance that communicates your strength and clarity, reinforcing that your emotional energy is yours to guard. In practical terms, avoiding the bait means intentionally redirecting your energy towards activities that nourish your well-being. Instead of allowing yourself to be absorbed in a confusing, emotionally draining cycle, focus on pursuits that bring you joy and personal growth. Engage in hobbies, build your skills, spend time with supportive friends, or explore new passions that uplift you. This isn't about ignoring the other person entirely, but rather choosing to prioritize your own fulfillment and independence. By doing so, you cultivate a life that feels full and meaningful, irrespective of their unpredictable behavior. This practice of detachment strengthens your independence and reinforces that your happiness does not depend on their approval or attention. Interestingly, this emotional detachment can foster respect. When you don't respond with frustration or anger, you convey integrity and self-control. This can even alter their view of you, as they realize you're not easily influenced or emotionally swayed. For some, seeing your composure may prompt them to reconsider their behavior if they're genuinely interested in a meaningful connection. If they're not, maintaining your calm approach allows you to see their true intentions more clearly, helping you decide if this relationship truly aligns with your values and needs. Moreover, choosing not to take the bait grants you clarity, giving you space to observe their behavior from a distance without feeling compelled to react. When you're not actively involved in the cycle of reactions, you're better able to recognize patterns and discern whether they're genuinely interested in you or simply enjoying the control. This perspective lets you analyze the relationship with a clear mind, allowing you to make empowered choices based on what you truly want and deserve. The power of detachment also lies in its ability to preserve your emotional health. Refraining from reaction frees you from the highs and lows of manipulative behavior, enabling you to stay balanced and self-assured. It's a way to safeguard your peace, showing that your sense of self-worth isn't contingent on their behavior. As you consistently choose calm over reaction, you become more resilient and grounded, making it harder for anyone to disrupt your emotional stability. This approach not only makes you more attractive, but also empowers you to enter future relationships from a place of strength. In essence, choosing not to take the bait reinforces a strong foundation of self-worth. It's a quiet, powerful message that you will not compromise your peace or values for anyone's temporary whims. By showing that your emotions are not easily influenced by someone else's behavior, you demonstrate both inner strength and self-respect. This resilience becomes your anchor, guiding you toward connections that honor your worth and allowing you to leave behind any situation that does not align with your sense of respect and integrity. Ultimately, refusing to engage in emotional gains is one of the most effective ways to reclaim your power and protect your emotional well-being. Chapter 3. Communicate concisely. When confusion and uncertainty continue in a relationship, clear, direct communication can be a powerful way to address it. Addressing any mixed signals or questionable behavior directly is not just about seeking clarity, but about setting a foundation of honesty and transparency. Concise, open communication conveys maturity, signaling that you're not here to play games or waste time with ambiguity. By bringing the issue to the forefront, you're not just advocating for transparency, but also challenging any potential for manipulative tactics to continue without scrutiny. Game-playing behavior thrives on uncertainty, often manipulating feelings through mixed messages, elusive responses, or subtle power plays. Psychologically, people who engage in such behaviors tend to rely on ambiguity and avoidance, creating confusion to keep control over the relationship's direction. By confronting the situation with direct, concise communication, you strip away that ambiguity, putting honesty and authenticity at the forefront. This not only makes it harder for game-playing to continue, but shows her that you value straightforwardness, making it clear that your interest is in real, mutual connection rather than navigating an emotional maze. The Stoics emphasized the importance of direct, honest communication, seeing it as an essential virtue in building respect, understanding, and a stable life. This Stoic perspective aligns well here. Engaging in clear, unambiguous communication can serve as a stabilizing force, helping you make better choices and avoiding emotional chaos. When you clearly outline what you observe and how it makes you feel, you're also expressing self-respect and emotional awareness. This approach shows that you take yourself and the relationship seriously, fostering an environment where mutual respect can thrive. Moreover, concise communication helps set boundaries around acceptable behaviors without requiring a dramatic confrontation. For instance, if she's been distant or her behavior feels inconsistent, addressing this calmly yet directly can be disarming. You could say, "I've noticed some mixed signals, and I just want to make sure we are both on the same page." By framing it neutrally, you allow room for an open conversation while clearly showing that you won't participate in a dynamic where ambiguity reigns. This approach puts the responsibility on her to clarify her intentions, prompting her to reveal more about her true level of interest and commitment. Clear, concise communication also has the advantage of creating a strong foundation for a mature and grounded relationship. When both partners understand each other's intentions, it builds a layer of trust and reinforces emotional stability. This directness can clarify expectations and make room for mutual support, aligning with a Stoic approach to relationships that favor simplicity and sincerity over manipulative behaviors and complex emotional entanglements. Additionally, open communication gives her an opportunity to reflect on her own actions. If she's genuinely interested in a relationship with you, she'll likely respond positively to your directness and appreciate the chance to engage with honesty. On the other hand, if her intentions were less sincere or if she was relying on mixed messages to keep control, this conversation will often reveal those motives. People who aren't interested in a true connection tend to pull back when faced with honest conversations, allowing you to see if there's a real foundation for a future or if it's time to move on. This type of communication does more than clarify the current situation. It sets a precedent for how you expect to be treated in all your relationships. It shows that you prioritize emotional integrity and want to engage with others in a straightforward, meaningful way. This establishes you as a grounded, self-assured individual who values meaningful connection over superficial gains. It helps ensure that, moving forward, both of you understand each other's expectations, which can reduce future misunderstandings and foster a healthier connection built on trust and mutual respect. In essence, concise communication serves as a protective and empowering tool. By choosing honesty over hesitation, you're setting the stage for a relationship that values clarity, respect, and emotional resilience. This approach lays the groundwork for a partnership that's focused on shared goals and transparent intentions, strengthening the potential for a connection that is both deep and resilient. Chapter 4. Set boundaries. Setting boundaries is essential in any healthy relationship, but it becomes particularly crucial when you're involved with someone who plays games with your emotions. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, defining what behaviors you'll accept and what crosses the line. They're your way of stating, "I know my worth, and I will not let anyone compromise it." When someone is inconsistent, creating confusion by pulling away only to reappear, boundaries allow you to reclaim control over your life and emotions. Rather than getting swept up in their roller coaster behavior, boundaries give you a steady anchor, a clear message that says your peace and stability are non-negotiable. Boundaries act as a shield for your emotional health. By defining and enforcing them, you signal that you won't tolerate manipulation, disrespect, or erratic behavior. For instance, if she has a habit of vanishing only to reach out again as though nothing happened, it's time to communicate a boundary around consistent and respectful communication. The Stoics taught the importance of preserving inner peace by not allowing external influences to disturb it, which is perfectly applicable here. Setting boundaries sends a message to both her and yourself that your well-being matters, and you're committed to safeguarding it no matter what. It's key to remember that boundaries aren't about shutting someone out or building walls. They're about creating a foundation of respect and safety that supports genuine connection. When you clearly communicate your boundaries, you're protecting yourself while paving the way for a healthier, more balanced relationship. For example, you might say, "I value consistent communication and mutual respect. I need these qualities to feel secure in a relationship." This approach lets her know you're open to connection, but won't compromise your values or emotional stability just to keep someone in your life. Boundaries aren't a sign of distance, they're a sign of strength, clarity, and self-respect. Another powerful aspect of setting boundaries is how they reinforce your self-worth. When you know what you deserve, you're less likely to be pulled into someone else's game playing or manipulative tactics. Boundaries give you the ability to step back and view the relationship more objectively, helping you avoid the cycle of uncertainty and disappointment. When you establish these limits, you're demonstrating that you value yourself, and you'll stand firm in upholding that value, regardless of anyone's attempts to test it. Boundaries also prevent unhealthy power dynamics from taking hold in the relationship. Game playing often thrives when one person holds the upper hand, manipulating the other's emotions to maintain control. But with boundaries in place, you level the playing field. You're no longer affected by tactics meant to provoke or sway you, making it clear that you won't be manipulated. This assertion of independence not only strengthens your sense of self, but also reinforces that you're in charge of your emotional well-being, not anyone else. In addition, boundaries help clarify intentions within the relationship. If she genuinely values connection, she will respect your boundaries and align her behavior with your standards. If she doesn't, it becomes clear that the relationship may lack the foundation of mutual respect and care necessary for a meaningful bond. In this way, boundaries act as a filter, naturally guiding you toward relationships that are respectful and mutually supportive, while helping you avoid those that undermine your emotional health. Setting boundaries also enhances your relationships by creating an atmosphere where both partners feel secure, valued, and respected. They open up space for honest, meaningful communication while maintaining each person's individuality and well-being. By establishing these boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also encouraging a relationship dynamic based on balance, fairness, and mutual respect. This step empowers you to attract connections that bring positivity into your life, reinforcing a self-respect that remains resilient, even when faced with potential manipulation. Ultimately, boundaries allow you to stay grounded and focused on what truly matters to you. They serve as a reminder that your emotional peace and self-worth aren't dependent on anyone else's approval or attention. This clarity frees you from the need to chase validation and allows you to walk away from situations that don't serve you. In choosing boundaries, you're choosing to honor yourself, which is the strongest foundation for any healthy, respectful relationship. By setting boundaries, you're not only protecting your heart, but also creating the space for a relationship where both partners can thrive, support each other, and grow together in a way that's deeply fulfilling and aligned with your true values. Chapter 5. Prioritize yourself. When someone plays games with your heart, it's easy to become consumed with trying to decode their actions, overanalyzing every message, and questioning their intentions. This behavior often takes a toll on your mental and emotional well-being, pulling focus away from your own needs and desires. But one of the most effective ways to outsmart these tactics is by consistently prioritizing your own growth, happiness, and fulfillment. This approach doesn't mean dismissing others or emotionally shutting down. Rather, it involves crafting a life that brings you deep satisfaction, one that's nourishing and balanced outside of any relationship. By centering your attention on your own journey, whether that includes chasing dreams, nurturing friendships, or engaging in hobbies that invigorate you, you create a sense of inner peace that remains steady, regardless of anyone else's behavior. The Stoics emphasized the profound importance of self-reliance, inner strength, and building a foundation of happiness that isn't reliant on anyone else's actions, moods, or approval. When you devote time to investing in yourself and pursuing the things that give your life meaning, you become less susceptible to the highs and lows of someone else's unpredictable behavior. Gradually, you come to realize that no one can disrupt your sense of purpose or inner calm, because it's deeply rooted in your own values and self-worth. Prioritizing yourself is like setting an unspoken boundary. While you're open to love and connection, your self-worth and fulfillment aren't dependent on anyone else's approval or validation. Incorporating this mindset into daily life can be transformative. Prioritizing yourself might look as simple as setting aside dedicated time each day to do things that bring you joy and strength, whether that's pursuing a creative project, working toward career goals, staying physically active, or practicing self-care routines that rejuvenate you. Each of these actions reinforces your emotional resilience and builds a solid foundation that's far less likely to be shaken by someone else's inconsistency. By keeping your focus on your own growth and happiness, you maintain a steady sense of self, which allows you to observe relationships with greater clarity and less emotional turbulence. Over time, this grounded and self-assured approach also makes you more attractive to others, as confidence and independence are inherently appealing traits. Living this way means you're actively crafting a life that's fulfilling and rewarding, with or without a romantic partner. It doesn't signify closing yourself off to relationships. Rather, it demonstrates that your identity and happiness are firmly rooted in who you are, not just in who you're with. This outlook naturally encourages genuine connections because you're attracting people who respect and support your autonomy. It also models a healthy balance, showing that you respect your own boundaries, dreams, and aspirations. In prioritizing yourself, you create a source of strength that allows you to see manipulative tactics for what they are, attempts to control or sway you emotionally. Your self-focus empowers you to choose relationships and connections that align with your values, ones that are genuinely respectful and fulfilling. By being anchored in your own self-worth. Chapter 6E. Embrace patience. Patience can be one of the most powerful tools when it comes to handling someone who may be playing games with your heart. Manipulative tactics often rely on creating urgency, making you feel as though you need to act quickly and without much thought. This sense of urgency is designed to throw you off balance, pushing you to react impulsively rather than with clarity and consideration. However, by embracing patience, you regain control over the pace of the relationship, setting a rhythm that allows you to see things as they truly are. This gives you the time to observe her actions over a longer period and assess whether her behavior aligns with your values and goals. The Stoics considered patience a virtue, one that allows individuals to remain steady in the face of uncertainty. They understood that time has a way of revealing the true nature of situations and people, and that by rushing, you risk missing these insights. In relationships, rushing can lead you into commitments and emotional investments that may not be in your best interest. Patience, on the other hand, grants you the mental space to separate genuine connections from manipulative tactics. When you hold off on making decisions and reacting immediately to every provocation, you allow yourself the perspective to determine if her intentions are genuine or if her behavior is simply a ploy to control your emotions. Practicing patience in the face of game playing doesn't mean ignoring red flags or avoiding making decisions altogether. Instead, it's about moving at a pace that's comfortable for you, where you're not feeling pressured by anyone else's timeline or expectations. This patience sends a message that you are confident in your value and that you won't be rushed or pressured. You're willing to wait for real, mutual respect and are not interested in superficial connections. This approach shows her, and yourself, that you're not desperate for immediate validation or emotional intensity. Rather, you seek a relationship that's built on authenticity, stability, and mutual respect. Patience is also a practice in emotional resilience. By not rushing to react, you're able to resist the pull of manipulative tactics that aim to provoke or unsettle you. You remain grounded, focusing on your own clarity and purpose rather than on her ever-shifting behavior. This doesn't mean you ignore her actions or overlook patterns of manipulation. It means you observe without letting them disturb your inner peace. In this way, you create a sense of stability for yourself, building a foundation of self-trust and strength. In taking this patient approach, you also gain a clearer understanding of your own emotions and needs. You're not just reacting to her actions, but are actively discerning what's truly important to you in a relationship. You allow yourself the time to understand whether this dynamic is something you want to invest in or if it's better to step away. This discernment ultimately strengthens your sense of self as you become less influenced by others' attempts to sway your emotions and more aligned with your own inner values. Another benefit of patience is that it conveys self-assuredness. When she sees that you're not jumping to conclusions or becoming rattled by her actions, it demonstrates your confidence and independence. You are not easily influenced, nor are you someone who can be led around by emotional games. Instead, you're a person who's willing to wait for real substance and depth in your connections. This quiet confidence can be disarming to someone used to manipulation, as it indicates that you're not someone who can be easily controlled. You hold your own, setting a tone that demands authenticity. By practicing patience, you give yourself the gift of perspective. You're able to see beyond the immediate highs and lows of a game-playing relationship and assess whether it aligns with the kind of love and connection you truly seek. This approach ensures that you're making choices rooted in clarity, self-assurance, and a deep respect for your own emotional needs. In embracing patience, you take charge of your heart and mind, deciding who's worth your time and energy on your own terms. Ultimately, patience is a path to true freedom. You are free from impulsive decisions that might lead to regret, free from the manipulation of others, and free to choose a relationship that aligns with your deepest values and desires. When you master patience, you find yourself no longer chasing or reacting, but instead calmly assessing whether a person deserves a place in your life. Chapter 7. Walk away when necessary. One of the most decisive and empowering ways to outsmart someone who's playing games with your heart is knowing when it's time to walk away. Stepping back isn't a form of surrender or loss, it's a testament to your self-respect and commitment to protecting your emotional well-being. Walking away sends a powerful message: you value yourself too much to become entangled in someone else's manipulative behavior. You're drawing a line and signaling that your standard is a meaningful connection based on trust and mutual respect, not a relationship filled with deception, uncertainty, and emotional games. In relationships, walking away can often be mistaken for giving up, but this couldn't be further from the truth. By making this choice, you're reclaiming your power and autonomy. The Stoics understood the strength of detachment and the importance of recognizing when something no longer serves you. They believed in focusing on what is within your control, and if someone consistently disrespects or manipulates you, that's a clear sign to let go. Walking away is not an act of weakness, rather, it's an affirmation of your self-worth and a boundary that you're unwilling to compromise. Choosing to leave a toxic dynamic demonstrates that you are willing to prioritize your peace over someone else's games. Walking away isn't about creating drama or leaving in anger. It's about prioritizing your emotional health and refusing to let someone else's manipulative behavior affect your peace of mind. When you step back, you're allowing yourself the space to heal and reset, to reflect on what you truly desire in a relationship. It also creates an opportunity for self-discovery, where you can clarify your values, learn about your boundaries, and define what you are willing to accept in future relationships. The Stoic principle of self-reliance is particularly useful here. By removing yourself from an unhealthy situation, you affirm that you are complete and content on your own. This choice is a declaration that you don't need someone who adds stress and inconsistency to your life. Rather, you'll hold out for someone who brings genuine peace and harmony. Often, when you walk away, it can be a wake-up call for the person who has been playing games with your emotions. Seeing you leave might prompt them to re-evaluate their own behavior, recognizing that their actions have consequences. While this change might be a side effect, it's not the primary goal. Your focus is on regaining your peace and setting an example for yourself and others. Walking away doesn't require a lengthy explanation or confrontation. It's a quiet but firm declaration of self-worth. By refusing to participate in their games, you take back control of your own life, showing that your dignity and well-being come first. The decision to walk away may not be easy, but it leaves you with lasting resilience and dignity. You're no longer reacting to someone else's behavior, but instead leading your own journey with clarity and purpose. You're setting a standard that your happiness is not contingent on someone else's approval or attention. The act of walking away also cultivates inner strength and confidence. It's a sign that you are willing to make tough decisions for the sake of your emotional health. Walking away helps you avoid the constant roller coaster of highs and lows, allowing you to pursue relationships that bring stability and support. Rather than getting swept into the cycle of emotional manipulation, you're choosing to step off that path altogether, demonstrating that you value a fulfilling, genuine connection. This step not only fosters self-respect, but also communicates to others that you won't settle for less than what you deserve. It's a powerful action that says you know your worth and won't allow yourself to be mistreated or undervalued. In the end, walking away is about setting a standard for yourself and those around you. It's a declaration of independence from someone else's games and a commitment to your own peace. This act of self-respect reinforces that you are responsible for your happiness, not reliant on someone who plays with your heart. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in focusing on what is within our power, our choices, our boundaries, our reactions. By choosing to walk away, you're reinforcing that you value your peace and won't compromise it for a relationship that doesn't serve you. Ultimately, while walking away can be a difficult step, it's also the one that gives you the most dignity and inner strength. You're signaling that you refuse to be drawn into someone else's manipulation. Instead, you're embracing self-respect and clarity, setting the stage for a life filled with healthy relationships and genuine connections. In this way, you demonstrate not only maturity, but also a deep understanding of your own worth, knowing that a truly fulfilling partnership will come without the need for games. And there you have it, 7 powerful ways to outsmart anyone who tries to play games with your heart. Remember, navigating these situations isn't just about winning, it's about maintaining your own self-respect, confidence, and emotional well-being. The Stoics taught us that true strength comes from within, and these strategies are all about reclaiming your power and staying grounded in the face of any emotional games. If you've ever found yourself in a similar situation or have insights to share, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into psychology and relationships. Stay strong, stay smart, and keep moving forward. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.